Hariom. So you're going to be doing micro lesson 4, which is teaching a pranayam. So you're going to choose any pranayam or breathing practice which is suitable for pregnancy. And we've gone through many different types of pranayam during this course. You're going to give an introduction to the breathing practice. So you can say the name, English name, Sanskrit name, and it's nice to give a little introduction about how the practice is. Now, some breathing practices, there's more to discuss than others. So it is helpful if you do explain a little bit about the process before guiding them to do it, because once they're sitting in that position, their eyes are closed and you start talking about it, then it can be a little bit distracting. They may open their eyes to understand again. So explain all the process first. You're going to talk about the benefits. And you can also talk about the precautions. Now, if there aren't any specific precautions for this pranayam, then you want to just make sure that you're talking about how there shouldn't be any kind of strain, the body should be steady, and the breathing should be relaxed. And of course, also talking about the ratio. If you're going to do deep breathing, you're not going to tell them to go and inhale for 10 and exhale for 20. So everything should be comfortable. And then you're going to instruct them to come into a meditative position. So all the usual ones like cross-leg pose, Padmasana, Vajrasana, all of them. Or you might decide that you want them to be doing the pranayama in another position. So for example, many times I will do it in Tadagasana, the pond pose, because it's a little more relaxing for the spine. So especially if she's having a little bit of back pain, she might not want to be in a normal meditative position. Of course, you can give support of the wall or sitting on a cushion or that kind of stuff as well. So you can decide what position they're going to be in depending on the pranayam, remembering that some pranayam shouldn't be done laying down. Then you're going to bring awareness to the breath and make sure that they're relaxed. And then you're going to give the instructions for that breathing practice. And you want to at least a couple of minutes of practice so that they get a real feel of what it's all about and they can actually feel the benefits. So after that breathing practice, you're going to conclude the practice and then you're going to release the position. So a few points to remember, that it should be comfortable for pranayam, for pregnancy, using any props or variations as needed, choosing the right kind of pranayam, and taking a practice with proper ratios if you are using ratios. Not everything needs to have a ratio, but for example, if you want to be doing deep breathing or you want to be doing alternate nostril breathing, you might decide to do ratios for that. And you want it to be for long enough that they'll gain benefits. And of course, you don't want any stress to the body, and breathing should always be nice and relaxed. So looking at the checklist for micro lesson number 4, so you're going to give a nice introduction, you're going to choose the correct pranayam, you're going to give a nice description, correct description about the practice, giving the benefits, giving any precautions if there are any. And then when you get your students to practice, you first want to have some breath awareness before moving into it, giving correct instructions for the practice, making sure that they're going to be comfortable because remembering they're pregnant, so using a proper variation as needed, and making sure that if you do have ratios, that they're going to be suitable for your pregnant women, and making sure that the practice is also long enough to give the benefits. Also, you want to take care of the rhythm and the speed. So keeping the rhythm at a constant, you don't want it to be like a little fast and a little slow. And same with the speed, like you don't want to be, if you're counting for every second, you don't want to be counting for every half second or every 2 seconds. You want it to be correct. So those are some of the things that are important for this micro lesson. Now we'll see a short demonstration of the micro lesson, and this is just part of one of my classes, and you would have many different examples of the micro lesson of teaching a pranayam, which are in all of those classes that we've done so far. So you can have a watch. Hariam. So we've got Chitali and Siddhkari and Kaki Mudra in your book. So 3 different types of cooling breath that you can be doing. Now the first one, Chitali, is where you're rolling your tongue. So you're sticking your tongue out and rolling it from the sides and then inhaling through the tube of your tongue. Now it's important that you don't just roll your tongue inside your mouth, you're actually going to stick your tongue out. Now I can't actually stick my tongue out and do that because I can't roll my tongue. Not everyone can, something like 1/3 of people can't do that. So you can choose this practice if you want, or you can choose the next practice, Siddhkari, which is where you're going to roll your tongue, but instead of rolling from the sides, you're basically rolling it so the tip of your tongue is touching the palate, the top of your mouth. Okay? And then you're going to bring your teeth together. And from here, you're going to inhale. Close your mouth and exhale. Okay, so that's Siddhkari, Shitali, sticking your tongue out and inhaling through the tube. Or you can do Kaki Mudra, or crow's beak, which is where you are just making a funny face with your lips and inhaling through your lips and then exhaling through your nose. So all of them are inhalation through the mouth and exhalation through your nose. Normally we don't do that. We don't normally inhale through the mouth because, you know, the nose is there to remove any of those impurities that are in the air. But for this practice we do because the air is touching into the mouth, which has a cooling effect. Okay. Now, imagine you're eating something that's very hot, like you didn't realize it was that hot. You put it in your mouth and you immediately, you know, you quickly like inhaling air and that cools you down. So it's the same kind of thing, but it's pranayam, breathing practice. So we're going to be doing one of those 3. You can choose which one. In fact, I would encourage you to try all of them so that you get a good understanding of how they are. And today we're just going to exhale with normal breathing. Otherwise, often I like to combine it with another pranayam, whether it's Brahmari, the humming bee, or sometimes Ujjayi, whatever. Okay, so the thing is about the cooling breath, now it's very good for cooling down the body. So thinking related especially to pregnancy, if I'm having a lot of heat related issues, if I'm having a lot of headaches, if I'm having a lot of acidity, if I'm having a lot of nausea, then the cooling breath can be really, really helpful for me. If I'm having hot flushes, if I'm having diarrhea, cooling breath can definitely be very helpful. The only time you really need to take care with the cooling breath is if you have a cold or a cough, or you feel very, very cold. You know, it's the middle of winter, then you may not be practicing the cooling breath. Okay, so let's have a go. So bringing your hand into Prana Mudra. Okay, closing your eyes. Keep your spine upright. Now you can choose either to inhale through your rolled tongue or through your teeth or through Kaki Mudra. So inhale, close your mouth and exhale. And again inhale, and you're inhaling slowly, not with any kind of tension. And exhaling. Now continue that at your own pace. So you're inhaling slowly through your mouth in whatever way and exhaling through your nose. It's important there isn't tension in your face. It shouldn't be a stressful practice because actually the cooling breath is very, very calming and soothing for us too, if we practice it the right way. So continue the practice. And last one. Okay, and normal breathing.